Let's get right into it. Ever wondered if some of the best solutions to our biggest challenges are buried under centuries of dust? Today, we're cracking open the vault of forgotten ancient technologies, some you've never heard of, and a couple you'll wish we'd never lost. These are the world-changing ideas that could reshape everything from our cities to our food, our power grids to our future. Some of them are quick flashes of genius, others are rabbit holes that go way deeper than you think. Let's see which ones could make the biggest comeback. Roman concrete, the ancient formula that lasts for millennia. You walk through any old Roman city, whether it's the crumbling ports of Ostia, the arches of the Colosseum, or roads that still thread through Europe, and you're literally stepping on an ancient technological mystery. Roman concrete isn't just old, it's outrageously tough. Unlike the stuff we use today, which cracks and buckles in a generation or two, Roman concrete seems to get stronger as it ages. What was the Romans' secret? Scientists now believe it came down to a unique blend of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. This wasn't just for show. The special volcanic ingredients caused a chemical reaction inside the concrete, producing minerals that actually seal up new cracks when exposed to water. In a sense, this concrete can heal itself, a property modern engineers are scrambling to understand and copy. Why did we forget it? After Rome's fall, the recipe was lost. Later builders replaced it with quicker setting, cheaper mixes, none of which could stand up to saltwater, earthquakes, or time itself like the old stuff. Now, as climate and infrastructure crises mount, researchers are racing to revive this recipe, hoping to build bridges, roads, and buildings that will last centuries, not just decades. If you ever find yourself frustrated by potholes or construction delays, remember that the Romans had a recipe that could solve the problem. Maybe it's time we bring a little ancient wisdom back into the mix. Next time you walk by a crumbling sidewalk, imagine what would happen if we just let the Romans handle it. Baghdad's ancient batteries, the world's first electric experiment? Picture this. Somewhere near ancient Baghdad, a craftsman seals up a small clay jar. Inside, there's a copper tube and an iron rod, maybe a splash of vinegar or wine. To most people, it's just another artifact. But to some archaeologists and electrical engineers, this Baghdad battery is a cosmic joke, proof that someone, centuries before Benjamin Franklin, was tinkering with the raw power of electricity. These clay batteries, if that's what they were, could have produced a faint electric charge. What for? That's the real mystery. Some think they powered early forms of electroplating, laying a film of precious metal on jewelry. Others believe they were religious or medical devices, maybe even tools for a bit of ancient scientific curiosity. Of course, there's debate. Not everyone agrees these batteries were meant to power anything at all. But the concept alone is wild. If these ancient inventors were indeed experimenting with electricity, they beat Edison by nearly 2 millennia. Even if their gadgets were primitive, it proves the point. Sometimes, innovation is all about re-examining the simple things right in front of us. If you look around your home and see ordinary objects, ask yourself, could there be a new use for something old, just waiting to be sparked? Amazonian Supersoil, unlocking the secrets of Terra Preta. Now, imagine walking through the Amazon rainforest. Not just the living green cathedral overhead, but the soil itself. Most of the ground here is thin, poor, easily exhausted by rain and sun. But then black earth, deep, rich, and fertile. This is Terra Preta, a soil so magical it almost seems like science fiction. But it's real, and it was engineered by indigenous Amazonians thousands of years ago. These people took what everyone else saw as waste charred wood, animal bones, broken pottery, and household refuse and layered it into the ground, creating a living soil teeming with microbes and nutrients. The key ingredient was biochar, a form of charcoal that locks carbon in the soil and resists breakdown for centuries. Over time, Terra Preta only got richer, allowing crops to thrive year after year without chemical fertilizers. The science is still catching up to this ancient knowledge. Researchers are piecing together how Terra Preta resists erosion and naturally regenerates itself. Unlike modern industrial agriculture, which strips soil bare and leaves fields exhausted, this system actually builds up fertility and biodiversity. There's growing evidence that if we could bring this technique into global agriculture, we could restore millions of acres of dead land, draw down carbon dioxide, and feed people without poisoning rivers or burning rainforests. But it's not just a farming hack, it's a philosophy. Terra Preta isn't about domination or extraction. It's about collaboration with nature, seeing waste as resource, and trusting that sometimes the best ideas are those that don't just sustain the earth, but enrich it for generations. The ancient Amazonians didn't write down the recipe, but the evidence is right under our feet. So, if you garden or even keep a houseplant, try making a bit of biochar and adding it to your soil. You might be surprised at how much ancient wisdom your plants remember. Viking optics, the forgotten power of the Visby lenses. Let's jump north, into the world of the Vikings, seafarers, traders, and, as it turns out, surprisingly skilled opticians. In Viking graves on the Swedish island of Gotland, archaeologists found smooth, polished glass lenses. These weren't just decorative beads. Some of them, called Visby lenses, are so precisely shaped that they can focus sunlight to start fires or magnify the tiniest objects. Think about that for a second. These lenses, dating from around the 11th century, could have been used to examine fine details on jewelry or craftwork, and possibly even to observe the stars, long before Galileo turned his telescope skyward. The knowledge to create such perfect optics seemed to appear, and then vanish, centuries before Europe's scientific revolution. If the secret of these lenses had spread, we might have seen a leap forward in science, navigation, and medicine hundreds of years earlier. But for whatever reason, lost craftsmanship, secretive guilds, or just the randomness of history, the skill disappeared. Every time you use a magnifying glass, a camera, or even the lens on your phone, you're benefiting from an idea the Vikings may have first played with 1,000 years ago. So the next time you're staring down a blurry text or squinting at the fine print, remember, the solution could be as simple as looking at the world through a new lens. Stepwells, ancient India's cool answer to drought. Travel now to India, where the land can turn brutally hot and dry. For thousands of years, communities here built stepwells, architectural marvels that do far more than just hold water. Take the Chand Baori in Rajasthan, a labyrinth of steps leading down into the earth, catching every drop of monsoon rain and storing it for months. But there's more. These stepwells aren't just practical, they're beautiful social spaces where people gather to escape the heat, pray, and share news. Stepwells work because of a few simple but brilliant ideas. They use gravity and stone, not pumps or electricity. They're designed to regulate temperature, staying cool even in the height of summer. Some are so deep that even on the hottest days, the air below is refreshingly cool, a kind of ancient air conditioning built with nothing but geometry and ingenuity. Today, as cities struggle with drought, heat waves, and the need for green public spaces, stepwells offer a template for sustainable, multi-purpose infrastructure. Architects and urban planners are rediscovering their lessons, designing parks and buildings that collect rainwater, offer shade, and bring people together. So, next time you need to cool off, head for the lowest, shadiest spot you can find, and picture it leading to a secret oasis inspired by India's ancient engineers. The Antikythera mechanism, Greece's lost computer. A battered chunk of bronze, fished out of a Mediterranean shipwreck over a century ago, turned out to be one of the most astonishing technological discoveries in history. The Antikythera mechanism looks like a corroded clock, but it's actually the world's oldest known analog computer built more than 2,000 years ago by Greek scientists who understood the stars and planets better than anyone thought possible. Inside, dozens of delicate gears, levers, and dials tracked the movements of the sun, moon, and 5 known planets. It could predict eclipses and even the dates of the ancient Olympic Games. The craftsmanship is staggering. The gears are cut so precisely that even today, with modern tools, they'd be difficult to reproduce by hand. And the knowledge to build such a device? It vanished, lost for nearly 2 millennia until archaeologists and engineers pieced it together, gear by gear, using X-rays and 3D models. The Antikythera mechanism changes everything we thought we knew about ancient science. It suggests that knowledge and collaboration in the ancient world ran deeper and further than we ever imagined. Some historians believe this was just one of many such devices, wiped out in the chaos following the decline of Greece and Rome. So what's the lesson? Sometimes progress isn't a straight line. Whole toolkits of genius can disappear, only to be rediscovered centuries later. The next big leap might not be a brand new invention, it could be a long-lost idea finally making a comeback. If you ever find yourself frustrated by slow progress or lost knowledge, take a second look at what's been left behind. There's a chance the answer is sitting in the dust, waiting to be wound up again. If you made it this far, you're officially part of the crew who loves finding lost treasures, so go ahead and subscribe, because there are plenty more hidden wonders out there that could change the world all over again. If you're curious, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story. And the next time you see a seemingly ordinary object, stop and ask, what's the forgotten genius behind it, and how could it help us shape a better tomorrow?